Hello, I'm Nathan Lamb, Director of Outreach and Community Relations at Somerville-Cambridge Elder Services. Welcome to Aging Well, a program about issues and concerns facing older adults and people living with disabilities. Our topic today is hospital-to-home checklists, and we are very pleased to have my fabulous guest here today, Dana Baggery. She's one of our transition facilitators, and she's going to help bring us up to speed on the importance of hospital-to-home checklist.
Yes, thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. So I have to admit I'm a little new to the whole hospital-to-home checklist thing. So what is a hospital-to-home checklist, and why is it important to get this right?
So the checklist involves medication management, discharge paperwork, following up with primary care doctors and specialists, and also linking to community resources, all in the hopes that we can avoid a readmission to the hospital.
So what are the most important elements of this checklist for people who want to make sure that they do everything correctly?
So for patients that haven't been discharged yet, there are a few things that they can actually do before they go home. The first one is talking to their nurse case manager in the hospital, making sure that all their services are set up at home for them, whether that's a referral to Somerville-Cambridge Elder Services for home care services, or insurance counseling, and the Visiting Nurses Association as well. Now, for patients that cannot get to the pharmacy once they've been discharged, a lot of hospitals now have a pharmacy in their facility and can do a bedside delivery of medications. So patients can be discharged home with their medications and don't have to worry about going out to pick up new antibiotics.
Absolutely. And the importance of doing the follow-up appointment with the primary care doctor?
The follow-up appointment with the primary care doctor is very important. A lot of times for patients that are in the hospital, the nurse case manager will schedule that appointment for them before they even leave to go home. Ultimately, we would like patients to be seen by their primary care doctor within 3 days. A week is fine, although 3 days is much better. And when they go to their appointments, it's best to bring their after-visit summary or their discharge paperwork with them that outlines what they were treated for, what medications they're taking, and all their upcoming appointments, as well as all the bottles of their medications, so that the physician can do medication reconciliation there to make sure that they have all their medications with them.
Now, sometimes when people are returning home from a hospital stay, they actually need modifications to their home. What is the best way to go about making sure, getting that assessment done, making sure that things are ready for when they return home? Getting a gauge on what you're going to need. Is that something that you talk to a care coordinator about? Is that something the hospital can help with? Who handles that end of things?
It depends what services the patient is discharged with. If the patient is discharged with the Visiting Nurse Association, they can order grab bars, shower chairs, raised toilet seats, that type of adaptive equipment. If they're unable to provide that, they can always call Somerville-Cambridge Elder Services or another Aging Service Access Point program in their area to talk about adaptive equipment and what their needs are going to be.
And I've heard that in some cases people opt to go with care coordination services. Can you tell me a little bit about what they do and how they can help people?
Sure. So care coordination services can sort of take over everything for the patient, from managing their social needs and their home care services, making sure that the family and the patient both feel supported, and ensuring that the client can be successful at home and on their own.
Absolutely. And actually you mentioned that again with the, and I think you mentioned that off the top with the requesting of the home care services. Is it your experience, because you work in our Aging Information Center, so you talk to people all the time who call Somerville-Cambridge Elder Services seeking help with what resources and supports and services are out there. Is it your experience that people generally know what supports and services are available to them coming in, or is it something where you kind of bring them up to speed? Are they generally aware of what's out there for them?
We're definitely bringing them up to speed. Especially a lot of the younger elders that we work with. They're not aware of organizations like Somerville-Cambridge Elder Services. They're not aware that their services can be temporary. They think it may just be for the long term and they have to commit to that for the rest of their life. They also aren't really aware of a lot of the community organizations that are out there other than the Council on Aging to provide help for them in the home. There are so many options available for seniors in our community.
Oh, that's excellent. And in the Aging Information Center, you guys help connect them with those resources, find out if they're eligible for them, give them advice and guidance.
Exactly. And we also have various resources available for them, everything from a list of podiatrists that make home visits, all the way to food banks in the area and transportation options.
Very good. Now, you mentioned getting a copy of your discharge plan. I have to admit, I'm horrible about getting things in writing from my doctor. Is this something where they generally will just give it to the patient, or do you really need to request it?
They should be giving it to the patient, and the nurse case manager should be going over every step that's in that discharge plan, reviewing what the diagnosis was, any upcoming appointments or tests that they may need to follow up on, their medications. It includes medications they should start taking, medications they should stop taking, and ones they should continue taking. Try to make it as easy as possible to have everything in writing for the patient.
I love having things in writing. Years as a reporter definitely taught me that.
Yep.
So is there anything else that's really of importance for this checklist of going to hospital to home that we might not have covered? I think that's everything that I was going to bring up. Was there anything else I might have missed?
One of the things that I can add is that there are a lot of medical community partnerships out there right now. Cambridge Health Alliance has a program called House Calls that does home visits for patients that aren't able to leave their home to make a PCP appointment or primary care appointment. It's a great resource.
And speaking of great resources, can you tell the people watching who might not be familiar with the Aging Information Center, what's the sort of range of things that you can help people there when they call?
Sure. So we can help with health insurance counseling, anything from mass health applications to open enrollment and Medicare Part D plans. We offer connection to social supports in the community, like I had mentioned, the food bank, organizations that can tutor for English as a second language even, adult day health centers, meal sites. We have everything, to be honest.
And it's free?
It's free.
And you guys are open when?
We are open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
All right, and we'll put the number up on the screen for
Sure.
people.
Yes.
But I think that's all for this segment. Thank you again for joining us for this segment. We'll be right back with a little bit more on hospital to home checklists.